At this point, we have sketched in the midlines of our truss members. By default, SpaceClaim assumes that we are trying to create a 3D solid, which is not what we want to do. And so we need to tell it that, hey, these are actually midlines of our truss members, or ANSYS by default assumes that they are beams because it also includes potential energy due to bending. So let's do that. And we'll also specify the cross-sectional area in the process. And let me hold down the control key and use the middle mouse button to move the model and also zoom in. And I'll create a new component. So this is optional. So I'll right click on design and say new component, and I'll call it line body to be consistent with the nomenclature used in Design Modeler, which you'll see in the meshing video. Though it turns out this name is not transferred to mechanical. And so the curves that we created, I'll make it part of that component. And so to turn these into midlines of trusses, truss members, or beams, I have to go into the Prepare tab, click on Profiles, and the only thing that matters for us is the cross-sectional area. So I'll pick a rectangle, and under Beam Profiles, I'll see, it's created that rectangular profile, and I will rename it to Rect1 to be consistent with Design Modeler. And to be consistent with the later videos. And then if I go and I say edit beam profile, and you might be in the structure tab, you have to go into the groups tab, and you see it's 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. We'll make it 0.9 centimeters by 0.9 centimeters. Okay, so you see that, and this has created a new system. So I'll go back to design 1 and look at structure and go back here, and you can see that that profile has the right cross-sectional area from the problem specification, which is 0.81. Okay, so now but these are still, if I look under line body, these are still curves. I need to convert them to what SpaceClaim calls beams, which would be the midlines. And so for that, I have to click on Create and then click on a line. And you see that now the one that I clicked on has been turned into quote-unquote beam. And let me do it for the other two. And so now I have 3 beams, and you see the curves has gone away. So that's how I indicate that, hey, these are midlines of my truss members or beam members. And there's one more thing I need to do. Right now, there's this vertex is not shared. It's actually assuming that each of these midlines is separate. So there is one vertex associated with this and another vertex associated with this. And what you really want is one vertex that is shared by this, and similarly for the other vertices. To do that, to say that these are connected, I have to go to Design 1 and pick Shared Topology and set it to Share. Okay? And that should indicate that those midlines are connected at the vertices. And so let me actually go, and I can exit SpaceClaim actually now. And if I go back to my Workbench window, I can save the project. I'll say File, Save. I'll go to a convenient folder, and I can give it an appropriate name. And if I go to the folder, I'll see that it's created this WBPJ file, and it's also created the associated folder called truss_files. And you need both of these to retrieve the project. Not only this, I've seen students tripping up on that. And this will go away when I exit ANSYS. There's also a more convenient way to save it using WBPZ, and that I cover in the conduction tutorial under the geometry step. So check out that save project video in conduction geometry.